purpose, for those that have not been here, the purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one authority motion without discussion. Any member of the authority, staff, or public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed and placed elsewhere for further discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the calendar, the action noted, to receive, file, or approve is approved by single authority action adopting the consent calendar. Would anyone like to have any of those three items moved in place somewhere further in the agenda? If not, I'll accept a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Move to accept the consent calendar as presented.
Support. We have a motion that's been supported. All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Reading of communications, there are none. Reports of standing committees. We have meeting minutes of the Personnel Committee of July 8th.
I'll turn that over to Mr. Commandant. I was unable to make the meeting at the same time as the Board of Commissioner meeting. We had scheduling conflicts, so that's when it was held. So, Mr. Commandant, would you?
Thank you. Yes, we had several items on our agenda that day. The first item, we were informed that our administrative assistant position had been filled effective June 29th. The second item we moved on was actually an internal promotion of a new director of operation and maintenance position recommended by Dan Saul, our COO, to promote Chris Sikluski. Did I say that right?
Lucky.
I was close. You would think I'd get it better with a Clement as the last name. Anyway, as you know, Chris has been with us for quite some time, 8 years, I believe, correct, Chris? And came very highly recommended, so we moved on that item. We then moved into the operation manager position, and we are recommending Tom Lux, who's a current senior operations supervisor, to move into that position. Again, he came highly recommended.
Tom's here.
Tom's there. Yeah. I might add that all of these changes were in our 2026 budget, so they were all already in the operation. We then moved into a discussion about our police chief, Joe Fitzgerald, and we've been very fortunate to have him. He's been on board just over a year and successfully stood up our police department basically from the ground level up. I believe we found out today we have a new person on board, so he continues to make great strides. We are recommending again an increase in salary and a bonus for him that is also in the 26 budget. We then moved into a discussion and look at a new organizational chart that reflect several items. I don't think that was in our passage, was it?
It's the, I just referenced, it was the one that was given that strategic plan with the boxes, so that was there, so.
Anyone wants a copy?
Thank you. And we concluded our meeting in 9 minutes, I believe, correct, Mr. Young? It was absolutely a record for myself.
Thanks for that report, Steve. We need a motion we need a motion to approve the minutes of the Personnel Committee meeting in July.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the minutes of the Personnel Committee as presented.
Support.
Got a motion that's been supported. Is there discussion? All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. We also need a motion to approve the changes to the organizational chart.
That'd be resolution 2026-66.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve 2026-66 as presented.
Got a motion that's been supported. Is there discussion? All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. Next, we have resolution under new business, item K, resolution 2026-70 to approve change order number 4, Elmer's Crane Dozer for Economy Lot emergency taxiway repair.
Okay, I'm gonna just walk through this because you're gonna be wondering, why are we using this contract to do this? So on July 13th, a sinkhole, and I don't know if you ever. All right, while he's working on that, sinkhole development taxi involved between taxiway G2 and G3 was about,
3 feet back.
yeah, about this big. It was pretty big. And it was just off the center line of the taxiway. And so we did an emergency repair ourselves to get it back open and operating at night by filling up some gravel, some coal patch to get it back in operation. And then we had Elmer's come in and do that repair. The place to put it though, because it's an emergency repair, would be to find a contract that was open that was already bid, because those quantities were already bid previously in competitive nature. So we did that by using our economy lot. Our economy lot contract is still open, so the quantities, the big quantities were all there for that project. We could translate them. So what Elmer's came in and did then is removed all of our temporary patch, went down to the sub base, tried to figure out what could have caused it. We cannot determine as of yet an exact cause. It could have been just the heat of the day with the heavy aircraft in that area. At anyways, what we thought it might be is like maybe an old tree stump, maybe a car void or something, but we didn't find any evidence of that. So they came in, repaired it, cleaned it up, and did that. It was a cost of $39,279, and that has been gone ahead with. So per our purchasing policy and our emergency procedures, we followed that closely, and this is for the board to ratify that decision. And there's your picture.
Did we lose any flights or delays?
No, we closed that off, so we were able to close it off so that people had taxi would cross the runway and use Delta to the other end.
Okay, motion to approve 2026-70.
Support.
Got a motion to approve 2026-70. It's been supported. Is there discussion? All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. We have resolution number 2026-71 to approve change order number 3 with Elmer's Crane and Dozer for the economy lot.
So this is a credit, the economy line. So yeah, so that one increased it, this one rolled it back. So that rolls the back from the base bid. And so change order of a decrease of $268,857.14. And that's again a balancing change order quantities.
I move to approve resolution 20-26 or 2026-71.
Support.
Got a motion to approve 2026-71. It's been supported. Is there discussion? All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next, we have resolution 2026-72 for the execution of the MDOT sponsored contract and the federal grant agreement to expand Terminal Apron Phase 2 construction.
Okay, this will require a roll call vote. What it is basically as the grant comes to us, we can accept it. Remember, with MDOT, we have the Channeling Act, which the state acts on our behalf, so we have a contract with the state of Michigan to administer those grants. So the project is normally funded at 95% and then 2.5% state, 2.5% local. However, Michigan doesn't have it. So the federal share will be $13,972,274. The state share will be $367,691. Our share will be $2.5 million, or $2,533,292, for a total of $16,873,257.
I move to approve resolution 2026-72.
Support.
Got a motion to approve 2026-72. It's been supported. Is there discussion?
Just a clerical, if you look at the letter from the FAA, it's actually to a former chairperson.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, I've corrected that with administrative staff. It's actually already gone to Paul's email. It's just
I
waiting
assume
for our,
that, but-
yeah, no, fair enough. Yep.
Any further discussion? All those in favor will say aye.
We need a roll
Oh,
call.
I'm sorry, roll
Because
call,
it's a
please.
grant.
Yep,
So Beach now,
yes.
Lennox,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Danell,
Yes.
Hinchel,
Yes.
Junkoff,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Commandant.
Yes.
Okay, the motion, resolution passes. Next, we have resolution 2026-73 for the execution of the MDOT sponsored contract and the federal grant agreement 326-0094-6126 to improve Terminal Building A by acquiring 4 passenger boarding bridges.
So this comes through the ATP program as part of the bipartisan infrastructure legislation. So this is a discretionary grant. We found out about that, I think it was a month ago or so. We talked about it in general, but this is the grant itself. And so total project of $5,503,007. State, the federal will pay $5,034,500. State share is $137,000. The airport share is $330,932. And again, this will be
The question, it says that the final bids being higher than estimated. And so we have a larger share. And I'm looking at the math and I'm not sure I see it here, but how does that work? That there was an estimate and then everything was based on that? Was it a price change?
Yeah, so when we bid out the 3 boarding bridges just a few years ago, we used that in some cost escalations to essentially provide our numbers to FAA for what we anticipated bridges to come in at. Just given economy and other things since that, because we had to put that estimate in over a year ago, just cost escalation and everything else, it just the bids were consistently higher, so it wasn't anything other than I think market factors at play, unfortunately. But yeah, it just came in a little bit more than they were able to provide. We did try and go back to them and say, hey, can you make up? There's like a $250,000 difference, and they said, you get what you get. So we are accepting the $5 million and change accordingly.
Bob, does the state normally, is their share normally higher?
So on this, so because that federal share is slightly below, they are matching only the federal share. So that's where we're actually making up the difference, if you will.
Okay.
So their grant funds are maxing out at about 5.2 million when you look at that share about what's eligible under the feds. So we're responsible not only for our share, but the difference
Gotcha.
in that amount.
Okay.
And it's actually less than 200,000 that we're having to make up, if I'm my quick math here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was wrong.
Okay, but I didn't mean to.
So we need a
I'll make that motion to accept 2026-73.
support. Got a motion that's been supported.
It will. I didn't catch that. Well, thank you.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Kevin.
Beach now,
Yes.
Lennox,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Danell,
Yes.
Hinchel,
Yes.
Junkoff,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Commandant.
Yes.
Carried. Next, we have Resolution 2026-74 for the execution of federal grant agreement 326-0094-6226 to acquire and install vehicle movement area transponders.
So this was a grant that came available very quickly. If you remember the LaGuardia crash that happened with Air Canada and the fire truck, one of the immediate things that was identified is that the vehicle did not have a transponder out on the field, which is very typical of airport vehicles, both airport and FAA vehicles across the country. So the FAA made a quick project for, I'll say, the top 150 airports in the country to get those transponders in. We have approximately 47 vehicles that will be outfitted with transponders. And so that's where this program came from. In your packet, your paper packet you have in front of you is the updated memo, because the electronic version went out Friday morning, and then the FAA changed the numbers in our favor. So the federal share is now $235,000, with the NRAA share of $12,368, for a total of $247,368. And then also we did get an updated grant number that updated to the grant number of 6326.
So who monitors these transformers? Is it the tower?
The tower will.
So ground?
If I may, so just this past May, the air traffic control tower had their own federal program, which is called a Surface Awareness Initiative. So they have a whole separate set of screens that lay out our entire airfield, and all the transponders that are essentially active are showing up there. So that way, whether it's tower or ground, depending, you can go to a couple different locations in the cab and see everything that's moving on the ground.
So does this outfit all our vehicles that would be?
Any vehicle that would be on the field, yes. Not all our
Right.
vehicles go in.
And then contractors, if they're out there, do we have,
They'll be escorted.
they'll be escorted?
And the tower can see it, can people see it on the internet radar too?
ADSB, yeah, it will be, it's an ADSB transponder, so yes, anything with ADSB in reception would be able to see that. Yes, yeah.
So do they squawk a code that's discrete to a vehicle versus an aircraft?
Yes, that it is discrete. All the ins and outs of that are going to be worked out with the FAA as we bring that. This is all like brand new circulars, the president's type stuff. So,
Will the police cars also be part of that?
I believe we have police cars
Yes,
as
we
part
do.
of the total.
Yep.
So, yep. It's basically any airport equipment that has any likelihood of operating within the airspace. Yep.
I'll make a motion to support 2026, resolution 2026-74.
Got a motion has been supported. Is there further discussion? All those in favor will say aye. I'm sorry.
It's another grant.
Sorry.
It's another grant.
Need a roll call.
Beachtown.
Yes.
Funny.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Hinchell.
Yes.
Babcock.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Kamanda.
Yes.
All right, the motion carries. Next, we have resolution number 2025-75 to approve change orders in the amount of $13,876 for White Box portion of cafe expansion.
Okay, so basically this is to resolve the change orders for the different modifications of the design, authorizing the cost amount not to exceed the $541,712. So we're increasing that by another $13,876 for those changes. This is just due to the balancing of what came in during the project and everything else.
Right, based upon the airport share, there are a couple airport-specific items that we had to make some changes to, and that's what these costs reflect, those includes.
I move to approve resolution 2026-75 as presented.
Support?
You got a motion that's been supported. Is there discussion? All those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next, we have resolution 2026-76 the adoption of a T-hanger lease policy.
So, in the past, we haven't seen a lot of T-hanger leases come before you because we haven't had a lot of changeover. However, we're starting to get some changeover in our T-hangers. And so what we're finding out is when we do that, we can't immediately, per our current policy, change them. So if one were to leave today and we have a new tenant tomorrow, we can't immediately put them in until the board were to meet, and that could be a whole month later. With these, if we approve the lease are all standard form, so they're all written the same. The the charge per square foot is all the same. So really all that changes on each lease for each T-hanger is the name going on the lease. So very similar to like a marina boat slip. Is marina boat slips go in and out. So what we're looking to do is by approving this lease policy, we're approving the lease form that we've always used, it's the standard form. And same as the lease rates are set through our rates and charges every November. And that the CEO can just execute those upon vacancy for the somebody right away.
Move to approve 2026-76.
Support. Got a motion, has been supported, is there discussion?
Just wondering how many leases have changed hands lately?
Not a lot. This is actually the first one we've had in about a year and a half.
Thank you.
So there's some others that are anticipated.
Are there some coming up? Hopefully.
Where is our,
We heard the answer.
Yeah.
Just sorry.
That's okay. That's different.
I shouldn't, there's a joke, just there's a joke.
where does our current wait list stand at?
We are sitting at roughly 34. And the individual that's just taking the last one that was available, he was on since 2019. So he's been on for quite some time.
Thank you. Not make them wait any longer.
Yeah.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Report of Chief Executive Officer Kevin.
All right. I'm just going to highlight a few. Of course, we've been working with the police union on the collective bargaining agreement. So we had a couple meetings throughout this period, which are going well. Hopefully we'll have that wrapped up here, I would say, early fall. Tourism board meeting, Autumn attended the Women's Michigan Open, and Kristen Mountain sponsored that. She did a great job speaking there. Several interviews. The air show took place, so it was good. I don't know if any of the board members want to comment on anything about the air show.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it went really well. My heart kind of stopped on Friday afternoon when I saw the first go around. And then the second go around, and I thought, oh my goodness. But yeah, we learned that it was not air show related. It was someone else.
Someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it went smoothly.
Unstable approach.
Twice.
I think they wanted to be in the air show. But went well from our perspective. Yeah, from our perspective, Dan managed that through that whole time. So thanks to Dan, gave up his holiday weekend for the air show. So thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. And then also the first time firework, drone, night air show all together, which I heard the public was very, very pleased with. So great job. Met with Traverse City Light Power, again talking solar, main initiative. What we talked a little bit about strategic planning in Saginaw. They did that parking lot program. And so we're waiting to hear more about that and what TACLP can do for that and how that could work with us. So we kicked off those discussions, so we'll see where those take us. Had a meeting with Grand Traverse County Chair Scott Seifert, which was great. It's been a long time catching up. I think we caught up on everything from the Full Faith and Credit through Cherry Festival, through everything. So it was just good to be able to sit down with the chair and just catch up. So that was great. Meeting with Warren Call, we have our contract with Traverse Connect. That's up this year. It's been 3 years since the last one. And discussed some of the items in that contract. So we hope to be bringing that to you at the August board meeting to discuss that. We worked with Autumn specifically to add some more marketing and some other incentives to put into that contract, plus some assistance with some potential air service conferences that could be brought to Traverse City, and that would be very beneficial to the business community. So we worked to put those in on that. I had a meeting with Congressman Bergman. He stopped in, and again, a lot of the grants you see today are part of his work with our senators also. So we appreciate all of our federal partners coming in. And then meeting in Lansing with State Rep Donnie Steele, and then some of the other staff members of other leadership, mainly looking at in the state budget that just recently was signed by the governor, under the aeronautics funding for airport, commercial service airports other than Detroit Metro. So the other 16 commercial service airports. They did put a line item in of $7.5 million to kind of hopefully contribute to projects and offset, as you saw some of the state shortfalls through here, to be able to add to that. So Representative Steele asked us to write a policy or assist with writing a policy on how to distribute that $7.5 million. And so we met and provided some guidance. Remember, in some of the previous budgets, money that was passed, they didn't pass it with the policy guidance to implement it. And so that money sat there and was never utilized. So we wanted to make sure this time when they passed it in the budget, that they actually had policy to utilize it. So that is being worked on, be worked out. We'll see how that works out over time. But our request was to, for about $2.5 million to meet all the shortcomings of all the grant dollars. So, in addition to the $1 million we've already promised. We did not receive our legislative spending request. So Donnie Steele, she made sure to mention that she felt the majority of the money should go to Traverse City. But we shall see how that works out. That's the politics of the game. Traverse Connect Finance meeting. We had our evening on River Street. We had lots of airline meetings regarding ramp operations and our lease negotiations. I had another meeting with the city manager, again, talking solutions on the Oakwood Cemetery and some of those zoning ordinances, etc. And so that was good, and a good update. And so that's, and of course, our strategic planning session and our Pitts Bitter game last night. So it was great.
Yeah, great job to the staff and for the board last couple of days. Really great job there. So thanks, Kevin and the team. And review of operations report.
Well, things are going well from a passenger. June, was up 3.2%. So that brings our year-to-date up for 1.6%. So doing well. Overall aircraft operations are down about 10% for the year so far. Cargo movement is up about 12.4%, and refueling is down about 3.7%. So
Accounts receivable, Heather, anything to be nervous
No,
about?
nothing, no major findings this time. Mostly just contract parkers, and there is one T-hanger tenant on there, but usually falls behind the company insurance. Nothing to worry about.
I'm sure you're right on top of it. Budget report, Will
Well,
and Mark.
for June, we were actually in the black for 81,000. But as you can see, with construction going on, that our operatings are in the red. But that's to be expected, and a lot of non-operating notes are here about reimbursement that we received and other grants that we're working on. So other than that, I mean, it's all as expected.
Yeah, Yep, it is. The revenue drop is contingent based upon some of those airline updated negotiations we've had, to give them a little bit of relief, so that's primarily where those are coming from as well, so.
Are there any questions on any budget items, finance? Okay. Is there anyone at this point that would like to address the board on anything pertaining to Northwest Regional Airport Authority? Who faces in here? Melissa?
I can give my road commission.
That'd be
I know you guys have
fantastic,
been
would you
waiting.
please? You can come on up.
Be front
No,
and center.
really?
You can go from back there.
I'll
that's
just
fine.
go back here with
Get the air ball out.
accounts payable and receivable, I fit with you. Well, good news, this room hears it first. We just found out today that MDOT has approved the Bikener Bridge project. That's a federal aid project, so as you guys know, we don't get to set the timeline, put out the RFP, pick the winners, we don't get to do any of that. The contract was awarded by MDOT on July 10th, the letting was done then, but we've just been waiting and waiting. So we heard this morning. So our pre-con meeting is Thursday, and we're gonna be putting out a video and everything explaining it. We were really hopeful to have this approval by this week, because this is in line with keeping us in that timeline, hopefully, of having it done before the end of the year. But everything is reliant upon the construction of the concrete beams that are made for the bridge. This is a span bridge, it's not a culvert like it was before. And those concrete beams, we approved OHM to be our inspectors for that. They're manufactured out of state. We have to pay somebody for weeks to be there every day testing the beams as they're built. And that's the process that is the most out of our hands as far as timeline. Once those are built, we are all ready to go. The contractor is out of Grand Rapids, and they're ready to go. So as soon as those beams are finished and inspected and approved, the construction will start. And we're hoping to have it done still by, Christmas. Everything's on track for that at least. One of the biggest frustrations, just to update you on an airport area project in this, is we have another federal aid project going on, which is a project with East Bay Township on Hammond Road. They're putting in a trail system there, a Safe Routes to School trail and some other expansions of that. They also were in the July 10th letting, like we were for Beitner, but their trail system was approved right away, and we had to sit and wait for Beitner. So we were getting a little bit nervous. The East Bay Township project is held up, which is holding up our road construction project on Hammond. In order to construct these trails and the easements needed, we are also, of course, crush and shape and, fixing that road and replacing the signals. They need to be done in conjunction with each other, or else we might be digging up stuff that we just built. So we have been waiting for their approvals and everything to be done as well. As soon as they are approved, we start the Hammond project, and we're gonna be putting out videos, keeping everybody up to date on that. I know that the Hammond project's gonna, obviously impact the airport and traffic to and from. Just as a reminder, Town Line Road is not a detour for Hammond Road. People will be rerouted through 3 Mile and then across to South Airport because we were unable to do the reconstruction project on Town Line, so it cannot hold up to the traffic that an official detour would be. But people are gonna cut through on Town Line, and there's gonna be some frustrated drivers like we're dealing with all over town right now, so I just wanted to keep you guys updated on that. Other than that, we've got projects across the county. Frankie Road is currently under construction. That was a complete redo. So that's, we're gonna get something out on that soon. And then we have Ski Pond Lake, which doesn't impact you guys, impacts the horse people. So that project's going on, and the rest of it has just been our maintenance projects. We did have other projects that were set for this year, but they had to be postponed because of the Beitner Bridge failure. We couldn't reconstruct Cass Road this year with it being the detour for that bridge outage. Any questions on any road commission projects?
One, thank you for Cass, because that fixing that has been, opening that up has been a savior for the 5 o'clock traffic.
Yes, that was the DPW. Our friends at the DPW had so much frustration, and Yeah.
So thanks for getting that.
In May, that will be under construction again, so just be prepared. This was just a temporary fix.
I know, but even the temporary,
I
better
know.
than where we're at. So,
But
thank
you
you.
didn't want permanent fix in the summer.
Yeah.
And then, will you take back the message, right now, they can relook at the light at the airport entrance, from the time frame to 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
11 to 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, the metering for that left turn to come in, sometimes it's right on,
Yeah.
and it's moving the traffic, and then there's other times it seems like the metering is off, and next thing you know, we're back way up.
It
And I
does,
don't-
yeah.
And I think that's something's off, because there's some days I'll be like, there's, the volume of traffic is even better, but yet the light is working perfectly.
The other day, it's like 3 cars through, and then it,
Yeah.
And
I-
and then I've been there and it'll let 12 cars through.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
so-
especially with the detour coming up just out there for road officially around 3 Mile and Garfield, we're gonna have increased traffic no matter what. So I can talk to Haley about
Just to
that.
have them double check,
Okay,
whatever, it seems like it's a program thing, something's
Yeah,
gonna
coming east, when you go to turn left, the other day, I was sitting there and it let 3 cars through, then it let like 12 cars through, and then I was in the next cycle.
Okay.
There were probably 25 cars back then.
okay. I have been in that parade, where it backs up actually past the turn lane and it's backing up onto the road, so I will
So
talk to
thank you, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
No problem. That's
I
why
said
I'm
one
here.
comment, you kind of glossed over the December, end of December for the Feitner
Yeah,
Bridge, just, I think, highlight that a little bit.
Oh,
because I think
yes.
that's a really big deal.
it is a really big deal.
You're not promising, but
No, if the stars are in alignment with the construction of the concrete beam, that's the most out of our hands part of it. We have everything else lined up. We are also hoping for an El Nino winter, well, I always am in general, a light winter, but we're hoping to have that time. There was also a lot of confusion in the public because somebody on my very favoriteest page overheard in Traverse City screenshotted. Dan made a video for full transparency. We share everything with you guys. We showed the letting document from MDOT. Remember, we don't do the letting document, it's an MDOT.
Road Commission, Dan, not Airport Dan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dan Watkins, Managing Director of the Road Commission.
Thank you.
Somebody screenshotted it and it said May, well, of 27. There's a lot of reasons it said May of 27. Even if all the stars align and we get this done by Christmas, we're not planting grass seed at Christmas. So the project isn't officially closed. Federal aid projects have a lot of paperwork. I mean, you guys know, it's real similar to what you deal with at your job. So somebody, of course, put that on and then just went crazy saying that we were lying and all this stuff. So we had a video made, thankfully, for our Dan. Did a video kind of explaining that, but we're going to go further into the process. But we hope to have the bridge open to cars by Christmas. It will not be the official closing of a federal aid project until well after the fact. But we also have that in there so that we're able to allow for a weather or a structural thing. Another thing to keep in mind too is that the companies, when they're awarded the bid in the letting process, that is when the timeline is made. We don't give the timeline to them. The companies work on the manufacturing materials and engineering, and that will be part of the pre-construction meeting on Thursday. So we'll share that all together.
You guys do a great job on the updates on the social media with Dan's videos.
Dan is our reluctant TV star.
Yeah.
If any of you know him, he's a real introverted, kind of shy guy, and now he's Dan from Grand Traverse Road Commission, and he says he can't go anywhere without somebody waving to him, like, hey, Dan, and but he's done a great job. And the best thing about Dan is I think he represents what we are, which we're transparent and honest, and I think Dan just is such the epitome of that, and he's been a great person to kind of co-brand with the Road Commission. Nobody wants to see commissioners on these things, you know? So we'll keep putting out Dan and getting it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Ma'am, do you have anything to bring to the board? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any member comment?
Yes.
Oh.
So Kevin is passing out a note.
News.
As many of you know, about a year and a half ago, I took on additional responsibilities at work. that is keeping me further and further away from being able to be around and traveling down the state quite a bit. So effective August 31st, I am resigning from this board after 12 plus years of serving. It's been a privilege working alongside all. It really has been. But my work responsibilities are keeping me more and more tied up, more and more downstate. And so to be fair to the community and to be fair to this board, it truly belongs in the next person's hands. So I'm looking forward to seeing who that is and looking forward to seeing this work that continues. I've been part of some big stuff in the last 12 years. Leading up to the groundbreaking of the terminal expansion, the authority being formed and all of that. So it's been an honor to work with the team.
Thank you very much, and your leadership and your insight and wisdom for so many years. I've personally how much you meant to me and as I came on the board and how much I've learned. So certainly best wishes, and I know we've got a lot going on with the energy companies, a lot of moving parts. But I just know personally, on behalf of the board, we're absolutely going to miss a great deal. So we talk about issues. Thank you so much for your service.
I'd like to just mention too, Doug was a huge mentor to me when I joined the board. He helped negotiate some rather rocky roads through the past few years. Doug's got a great way of getting attention. He does it very well. He's quiet sometimes, but when Doug talks, people listen. And I don't mean that just as far as the authority goes. He is very highly regarded in the community. You may not know of all the things he is or has been involved in, but I can assure you they're all better because of his.
I don't want to keep piling on here, but I would agree with what Steve said. He was a mentor to me when I joined the board. I learned a lot from him. He was a good confidant when I had questions about what was going on, and I know that Doug has taken this, the NRAA through, even before it was an NRAA, through a lot of tough times. He was the go-to guy when things got tough. So thank you, Mr. DeYoung. We appreciate all that you have done for this. You'll be a big loss, but I know that you will take a phone call from any of us, and don't be surprised if we call and say, hey, got a question
It's
for
not a
you.
quorum call anymore.
Your experience has been helpful.
Doug, so we'll have you for one more meeting then. We'll have you for the August meeting.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us plenty of time.
And I touch base a little bit
Okay.
too, but first of all, I'd start off with saying thank you. And the entire staff, not just myself, the entire staff. Over the last 12 years, we've accomplished a lot. It's because of your leadership. You've been chair of everything, I think, pretty much, all the committees, and hard work, hard lift at the airport authority. That was revolutionary in so many ways to do that, to lead that. Such uncharted territory, and having you there was a foundation that was beyond belief, I guess is the best way to say it, because you need some stability, you were always there, and that was the greatest thing. Doug's been not only professional in his leadership, but in his friendship. He's provided us countless leadership lessons. He's provided us all, just sometimes it's just a friendly call to say hello at a time when life's rough. And so I personally thank you for the time you've given this board. Thank you for the friendship, the leadership, everything. If I could recommend not to accept this letter of resignation,
So
but
moved.
but I truly understand the challenges that you face and is a job that you face. And I appreciate that role also, because you do such great things for our community in that role that we thank you. So we will invite you back to a later meeting to give you the proper going away gift that we can, and celebrate that. But with this, what is the procedure is, since we've received notification that we will notify Grand Traverse County, the chairman of Grand Traverse County, to ask to appoint a new representative to the board. With that, Doug will remain in the role, even though his last day is effective August 31st. Technically, per the bylaws of the authority, he will remain in the role until such as someone else has been reappointed. So if the county completes that by August 31st, great. If they do not, technically, even though he may not be present here at the board meetings, technically serving that role until officially replaced by Grand
So do everything we can, slow walk.
Is there any other member comments?
Just say ditto.
All right, thank you, Rob. If there's no further business to come before the Northwest Regional Airport Authority, we will stand adjourned.
Yes.